Lozo.
Here.
Trustee Jensen. Yes. Trustee Kratz.
Yes.
Trustee Sarah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Do I have approval of the agenda?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
I make a motion that we approve the agenda as posted.
Having first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstained? Motion passes. On to blue ribbon recognition. Anybody?
We have one, for Chris Dreifel for student council advisor. It's a lot of work to put, homecoming together and homecoming court and homecoming dance and all things homecoming. So I appreciate her extra effort with her student council. And then the other thing she's doing is she has first grade leadership class. And so her class is going over to the elementary a couple times a week to do reading buddies, writing buddies, and just do some mentorship. I think that's growing into some positive relationships for the littles with the bigs. And so I just appreciate her taking an idea and running with it. So
Awesome.
Good.
Good. We'll move on to 3, the annual district audit report.
that's what I call.
Hi, you've reached Quest CPA.
Just 104.
Our office hours are Monday through Thursday, 8.
Hi, this is Dan.
Hi there, this is Nova School District. Are you ready for us?
I'm ready, yes.
Okay, I'm gonna pass the phone towards the middle.
Okay.
Hey, go ahead.
Okay, I guess we'll do a sound check first. Everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Very good. My name is Dan Coleman. I did the audit for your school this last year and would like to take just a few minutes to report on the audit process and the results. We appreciate Donita. She's our contact there at the school. She sends over all the information that we need to do the audit, and then she's available for questions throughout the audit process. And I really appreciate her hard work getting things ready to go, and her assistance also during the audit. As far as the results of the audit, we are required to issue certain reports that discuss how the audit went. On pages 1 through 4, you see the independent auditor's report. That is where we express an opinion on the financial statements. And so if anybody wanted to know how your school audit went or turned out, they would reference that report on page 1 through 4, pages 1 through 4. We have issued an unmodified opinion, meaning that as we went through the information, there was nothing negative that we came across that altered our opinion on the financial statements. So again, unmodified opinion, best that we could give, and it does mean that the financial information is accurate. So very good job there. And then on pages 43 and 44, we are also required to take a look at your internal controls and compliance. We do not express an opinion on the internal controls like we do the financial statements as a whole, but we do look at the internal controls. You know, there's a set of controls that we would like to see you have, and if schools don't, then we'll have that conversation. And if there are any major issues there with the internal controls, they would show up in a finding in that report there on pages 43 and 44. For a school your size, we believe that we have come up with some internal controls that make sense for smaller schools, you know, when they can't hire 3 or 4 different people in the accounting department, like accounting theory would like to see. We have some review processes in place that help compensate for not having as many accounting staff. And so no findings in that report either. A clean report as well on your internal controls.
Awesome.
One other thing that we do like to take a quick look at with the board is the major funds for the school. As you go out and as you do an audit, you can tell a lot about the financial health of a school by looking at their major funds, which means that those are funds that have a lot of the financial activity that flows through them. And so your major funds are listed on pages 10 and 11. And if you don't mind, we'll just take a couple of minutes, kind of run through each of these major funds, and then I'll just make a few suggestions on each of those. On page 10, you're looking at that first column there is the general fund. And we're going to focus on the bottom of the page there, last three numbers. So third number from the bottom, net change in fund balance, $436,267. So our revenues exceeded our expenses by $436,000. Very bottom number, ending fund balance, $1,360,671. I know that you guys on average spend about $300,000 a month, and so that comes out to be about a 4.5 month operating reserve. We do like to see a month and a half to 3 months there, and so you guys exceed the higher end of our recommendation. But I think considering the circumstances, I think it's okay to have a little higher fund balance in that general fund. It's unknown how much money you'll receive next year. Funding could decrease a little bit. We have to pay up front for our federal funds, and then we get reimbursed later. And so there are lots of reasons to build up that general fund balance to that mark that you guys have it at. And so it's in good shape. Second column over, Child Nutrition Fund. So just running down through the performance of that Child Nutrition Fund, there was a loss of $43,000. We transferred in $27,000 from the general fund to help out. And you guys had a beginning fund balance in that Child Nutrition Fund of $15,000. So if you look at the very bottom number, it zeroed out this last year. So the loss that we had was covered by a transfer in from general and by some beginning fund balance that offset that loss. And it decreased that fund balance down to zero. Child Nutrition Fund for all schools have been showing losses this year. Those losses are ranging from $40,000 to $300,000. And so real similar to what you guys are experiencing there. Rising food costs and inflation decreased revenue from the perspective that over the last few years we've had some COVID grants that have been sent out to help with the Child Nutrition Fund. Those are gone. And so it's kind of like just a perfect storm to show losses in that Child Nutrition Fund. And I anticipate for most schools in the next few years, unless there's some other type of grant that comes our way, we'll probably show losses in that Child Nutrition Fund and have to budget transfers in from general. So, third column in is the bond fund. That is where we see tax revenues coming in for our bond levy and our bond payments going out. Very bottom number there, ending fund balance, $378,915. I just like to compare that ending fund balance with what our debt payments will be for next year. Principal payments next year, fiscal year 26, will be $240,000. Interest payments, $92,000. So total payments next year, $332,000. We have enough in that ending fund balance to pay next year's debt payments, and so we're happy with that fund. Looks good.
All right.
Fourth column over, Plant Facilities Fund, very bottom number, $442,973. So we increased the plant fund by just a little bit this last year. So we have a little bit of money sitting there for facility maintenance. So that one is in good shape. And then I'm just going to flip to page 11 real quick. And on page 11, we're looking at the first column over, the School District Modernization Facilities Fund. So the state ran a bond this last year, State Department of Education and they handed out maintenance money to schools over a 10-year period. And what you're looking at there in that school district modernization facilities fund, very bottom number at $1,415,200 is your portion of the facilities money plus a little bit of interest that you've earned there. And so keep in mind that money, it was designed to spend down over 10 years. And one other note, the interest on it can be transferred to general fund to cover routine maintenance. The state is really watching this fund closely. They really would like it to have very clean accounting. So their suggestion was, if you do plan to transfer that money to general, maybe once a year in July following the audit, you transfer out the previous year's interest income to general. Keeps the accounting nice and clean. The guidance says you may, so you don't have to, and you can leave it in Fund 436 if you want. But again, if you do choose to transfer it out, they just want to see some clean accounting there on that transfer. So your school does have a lot of non-major funds. We did review those under audit. Everything checked out fine. And if I kind of look forward to this next year, what's coming our way as far as audits go, the single audit threshold is increasing to $1 million. So when I go out to audit a school, I do a financial statement audit. And then if a school spends over $750,000 of federal money, I'm required to do a second audit. Your school is back and forth with that. Sometimes you require it. Most of the time you do not. Well, that $750,000 threshold is increasing to $1 million starting in fiscal year 26. And so I think into the future, it's less likely for you guys to ever need that single audit. And then secondly, I'm watching some IFARMs changes. Some of the funds and some of the accounting are going away. This will affect Donita mostly. You guys probably won't see these details at all, but Fund 240 and Fund 430 are going away. And then accounts 663 and 811, we are no longer supposed to use those. IFARMs will not support those starting in fiscal year 26. So a few accounting changes that Donita is aware of, and she knows to reach out to me if she has any questions on those. So, but that's all I have for the board tonight, and so I'm going to turn this back over to you, and then I am available for questions if we'd like to discuss anything else.
All right.
I'm good. Thank you, Dan. That was awesome.
Anybody else have any questions? Doesn't look like we have any questions for you tonight.
Okay, I've got 4 board meetings, and so we'll hit the next board meeting, guys. Thanks for squeezing me in there. I appreciate it.
Thank you so very much. Have a good one.
All right, take care.
All right. Thank you, Donnie, for everything you do.
Yes, for sure. I feel for you.
Yeah, move on to 4, focus on student success achievement. Discussion of student data.
Okay, so this is Amira. We have it. It is what's used for the IRI this year, as well as it is a program that we use and kids can get on and work on their skills as well. So not just assessment, but learning. When we assessed here in October, we'll look at this as kind of our beginning for the year, even though school starts a little bit sooner, but this is the beginning of the year and this is our launch point that we want to grow from. So this gives you a little information by grade level in both reading and in mathematics. Of note, when I take a look at the K3 information for the reading, we're about 12% below where we hit for the benchmark in the springtime of last year. So we're looking at, for the next month, let's look at 1 to 2 kids and see where they're at, what we need to do to move them up. And Likewise, we'll do the same thing with mathematics. Is just start looking at our kids and how to support them to learn. So just some information for you guys to look at and know where we're at right now.
You want to talk a little bit about the transition from High Station to Amira?
Oh, mercy. No. The short version is that it is different. There is a lot in the reading portion of it. There is a lot more talking by the children. And so the classroom teachers have really worked to go, okay, this is effective. This is what I need to do to change so the kid can do the best job they possibly can while speaking into a computer with the rest of the class speaking into the computer at the exact same time. So, and they do have to refer to Amira as Amira. So we do sometimes hear them telling Amira what to do repeatedly because it doesn't quite catch their voice. So we're working on some of those aspects with it. This is more on the reading side. So there have been some questions across the state as we've transitioned to this, and something we'll continue to monitor. But in regards to it, our kids have started well, and we want them to keep on learning and keep on growing for the rest of the school year. So,
Sounds good.
yeah, it does allow you to drill down all the way down to finite skills for each of the children, but for us, a nice gross overview of what we have. Okay.
On to 5, student presentation reports. We have stimulation for the FFA.
My kiddos are all off at work and playing volleyball, so I said, I didn't really this time.
You're it.
Just real quick, I know you like to hear from your kiddos, so we'll go down through real fast. Lauren Nelson, our chapter president, was at the foundation drawing for the side-by-side this last summer. And there's a link that I'll send to you through Jen on the Idaho Farm Bureau came over with their video staff. They had a fantastic video with Lauren in there. She had a speaking part. There's another FFA kid in there that's from another school that's pretty handsome. That's my son. He did a nice job, but Lauren was the featured primary speaker. So it was awesome. The guy from Parma won it. And so our students are actively selling those tickets again. The nice part about those tickets are $20, and half of it goes to the foundation for the scholarship program. The other half comes back to the kiddo, and we keep it in the county. That helps them pay for FFA items and travel. So it's a good program for them. Pleased to announce that the American degrees, we've got 3 this year, and it's pretty rare that we have them every year, but we've been kind of looking at that. Kylan Jensen, Amber Ormert, and Carly Smith all were successful, and that's an honor for them. It's the highest degree that the FFA bestows upon its members. It's extremely prestigious, and it looks really good on resumes and scholarships. So congratulations to them. We had Treasure Valley District Dairy Cattle judging. We had Michael Carlock, Austin Hanson, Bradley Grandine, and Jocelyn Iverson, all freshmen. And we went out to the Vanese Dairy out of Marston, and those students placed 7th as a team against, there was about 54, 55 teams from the valley. So they were 7th, so they did a real nice
Picture on
job.
that top picture.
It was good, yeah, on the back there's a picture of the team there. And then in the drawing is the second picture with Lieutenant Governor Becky. And it was really cool because we only had 2 FFA kiddos there. So he took his lapel pin off. That was, you've seen the plastic idols, but it was metal and gold, and presented it, gave it to Lauren. And then he dug in his pockets and pulled out the heritage coin that they have. It's got the seal of Idaho, and it's got his seal on the other side, gave it to each of the kids. So that was really cool when they were at that. We took 18 students to the Treasure Valley District Leadership Workshop in Middleton. They went through 4 workshops on leadership skill development put on by the district and the state FFA officers. Gifted Blue is a really strong program through our connections with the Idaho FFA Foundation. It is free jacket and tie or scarf for those. We've submitted 13 applications, and here locally, where we get the funding from that through the foundation is the Culver's fast food chain. There's, I think, 4 of them in the state, and they pretty much have told the state foundations whatever you need. So anytime you get a chance to engage or interact with Culver's, it's pretty good frozen custard. So they are a huge sponsor for Idaho FFA. Football benches, yeah, guys in the base ag welding class built some couple of football benches that will outlast all of us. They are really, really strong and stout. Great project for the guys. We used our metal pipe bender that's from our hydraulic iron worker to figure out, well, if I sit there, I said, you guys gotta figure this entire thing out, so they put chairs there and like, well, you're gonna have shoulder pads on. How long is it gonna have to be, and figuring out the angle and that each of the pipes, and it was a great project for them to figure out all the whole way. We're in the final stages of approval for IQPS grant. Ms. Wright sat in, we had our review that was conducted by the state program manager. It encompasses everything that we do, from college career readiness in the ag program to equipment and facilities and the record keeping the students do and FFA involvement. Those grants are awarded to the ag instructor or to the program on behalf of the ag instructor and the things that ag teachers do. So we have to hold, you get points for degrees, or you get points for attendance at activities, and being officers at district and state levels. So that notification should be coming through here this next month. Kids have been busy building the Harvest Festival car show trophies, and we've been doing that for several years, and it's a lot of fun. They love whatever we make, and we're cutting this year. So we're hoping to cut everything out on the plastic can, so we're cutting all those out. It's been fun. We had a good start on the year. Ag department last year had 33 students, non-duplicated ag students in the course of the day. This year there's 83. So appreciate the scheduling changes to be made, because I'd much rather teach class of 24 than so it's been good. Got a lot of kids signed up for dual credit through the University of Idaho for the speech class, ag speech class, so they'll all be getting dual credit for that. So we get dual credit with Fred Valley Community College for ag welding, and TGC for horticulture, and zoology will be all dual credit through CWI.
Nope.
Questions? Next month we'll have a kids day.
Thank you. Okay, on to student ET program update.
Yes, it's
We can go to the page that's in the Word docs.
Nope, Mr. Kinslow's running it.
There we go. So this is, I'm gonna let Ally start with the top of different projects we have done. You don't have to read it, you can go off of memory of what we've done in the class, but I'll let her start with projects that we've done so far this year.
So we've done a lot of different projects, starting with like bookmarks and socks. But then it's gone to making big signs for like the Grit family for selling hay, and then she made really cool jerseys for the high school volleyball team because they did a breast cancer awareness game. So she made the jerseys, and they were pretty cool. And then she just made this routine banner
You're in the
for
process of
for
this.
Valley View. And then she made a bigger swim team one for a swimming one for, what was that?
That was
That
also,
Valley View?
so this is for CCU swim co-op team. So they have a bunch of schools in, but we've got a bunch of business from them lately. At the bottom of that shows a couple of the banners that we made for them. So we made one for the whole co-op, well, two for the whole co-op, for their meets. And then they just asked us to do their senior banners because they liked those ones so well. So we are making 11 senior banners for them that we are having to them. We got a tight window. They took their pictures 2 days ago and they want them Thursday.
So we're scrambling to get them done. And then we have the red ribbon shirts that we're gonna be making. That we just got the shirts in, that we'll make about 200 red ribbon shirts by next Tuesday. So it's, when we get a bunch, we get it all at the same time, it seems like. So there's some more pictures of stuff we've done. Some stuff for hire, some stuff for fun. Right there, as you can see on my door, one of our freshman students created the design to cover my door while we were at LCSC this summer. We toured, or Allie went with me to a teachers program where I taught teachers how to incorporate graphic design into their classes, all grade levels, all classes. And so I saw that on one of LCSC's doors and found out what material it was. And so we just got some in and tried it out. And Parker has one on his door.
Allie, was it you that made
No,
it?
it's not you.
Malia
Was it?
made
I
it,
loved
yeah.
it. It's gorgeous.
And we've done decals and a bunch of different stuff that principal gets bright ideas and asks you to make, or or students want to do something different design wise, and then quite a bit of outsource stuff that we're getting now. And we just got our website live. Thanks to Roseanne, she got it on the webpage. So we have that, and Allie did a bunch of work in this webpage. So the first page is kind of just the program and what we offer, what we can make. And then you can go into available merchandise, spiritware, and then a list of products that we've made just to spark ideas of people that want custom work. So we just got that ready, and we are going to have a booth at the Harvest Festival this weekend to kind of advertise our program and to do some origami with kids to give them a fun activity.
And I look back, I'm gonna interrupt.
Go ahead.
The design, the kids are doing all this design, and so now we're putting them together so that they come out and start cutting on the metal sheets on the plasma cans. So
Yeah.
her design software and mine are similar, and she's figured it out way faster than I could. And so it's fun to be able to have those kids and right across the hall and then go out and cut some stuff out in the middle too.
Yeah, we're getting some that are in both of our classes that they design in my room and then cut it out in his and welding. So it's building the program, and we're second year now into it. And so I got some second year kids doing the print shop stuff, and then first year kids are learning the basics of Illustrator and how to work their way into second year.
And they're also learning the business side of things by invoicing and
Yeah, taking client info in and going through the form process. My goal this year was to match industry as much as possible with intake of forms and tracking documents and projects, and then feedback from clients.
awesome.
Yeah, very awesome.
Thank you very, very much. That's amazing.
Thank you, Allie.
Okay, and then, we need to make a change for C, our next meeting, is that?
Yes, we'll move that to the November meeting so leadership can present their retreat.
All righty, we'll move on to 6, public participation. Is the NEA here tonight?
They are not here
They're
today.
not here. Any hearing of sign-in visitors?
We do not.
We do not. Okay, on to 7 of the consent agenda.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Having a first and second, all in favor?
All right.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstain? Motion passes. Okay, on to district reports, House of Board minutes.
Anybody have any questions? Just quickly.
She's always there.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, on to the elementary principal report.
Right. So we went over the Amera math and reading data. Like I said, it was the starting point. We got some great highlights there. And a good start to our school year. We also spoke that we are learning more about that program platform and how to work with it. So takes all of us to make that happen. I think we'll get there by the end of the school year. Elementary PTO, we want to thank them. Big shout out to the fundraiser they held. I think it was roughly around $2,500 was raised in that fundraiser. I got the opportunity to pull the last ticket for one of the kiddos, but thank you to the community, families, and staff for supporting Notice. I'm currently enrolled in the Smart Leadership Program, which is foundational literacy, as well as K2 is all enrolled in that as well. So they have a focus on the early literacy. The third grade teacher already completed that prior. And so we're taking a look at, all those phonemes and things that build reading. 4 through 6 and their PLTs or their collaborative groups has focused on math mainly. 6th grade went off to that training and brought back the language of let's get those bricks and finding those key pieces to focus on for the student learning of math. And so they're starting down that pathway as well. And then, of course, all of us are working on that collaborative process with that MTSS focus of supporting student learning through their needs and their behaviors, as well as the content that they're working on. Any questions?
Awesome, thank you. On to C, grants coordinator.
We applied again for the expanding arts in the rural schools to help with music instruments repair, and a little small piece of that would be some art supplies for Ms. Fylord's classes. And so I'm hoping that we'll be able to get that funding again. As you guys know, the Smith's program is quadrupled and just really been doing some cool stuff. So I'm excited, to help support her builder program, but also know that instrument repairs is costly. So we did apply for that. And then Kelsey knocked out a grant, probably fastest thing I've ever seen. It was a micro grant, and it was kind of, you get a stamp of timeliness. So she turned it in last week. It doesn't close until October 17th, but it is to the Epson printer and the UV printer, just to continue the program that we have out there. I don't want to burst bubble, but we've been receiving a lot of funding from them, so I don't know if it's like, oh, they just received funding last year, but it never hurts to try. And then Mr. Forbes, we applied for this materials for a robotics team, and he did receive that for $4,200, so that was exciting news this morning.
Very cool.
And then I did attach a community service pipeline infographic that I made. The action plan is a lot of words, so I made it into 3 sections. Basically, under student and family engagement, some professional development for Carla, our coordinator and staff, and then expanded learning opportunities. Within that student and family engagement, you can see those are the things that we're doing. There's nothing necessarily new, except I asked for some support with our Fit with Grit prevention, just because we have 2 guest presenters about this to talk about in my high school report. Professional development, there's nothing new there. And then expanded learning opportunities, we are going to hopefully look at some rec teams at the elementary level, bring back some of those. When I was elementary principal before, we would build like a Notice team and practice in our gym, but then go play in Caldwell Rec or Parma Rec. And I'm hoping we can kind of do that with some spring sports or fall sports next fall. So that is something new. And I just wish we had better turnout for our parent engagement. If we had a dead night, only 1 parent showed up, but one's better than none. And then nobody showed up for our last career class. We'll try again. So just made the infographic so you can kind of see where the grant funding is going towards. We still need to do a couple small revisions on our action plan to get that final approval, but I do think everything will be smooth sailing in the community schools grant. Any questions on that part?
Mhm.
Okay.
Thank you.
And it's been nice to have Mr. Kinchlow support with that community school stuff.
Okay, we'll move on to federal programs director.
No new information.
All right. So we'll move on to the junior high and principal.
when I was doing my report, I'm like, gosh, I'm tired, but what have I been doing? Well, we've been doing a lot, but I do want to share that Gear Up 4 cohort funding is a go. I know that it was kind of in limbo. Federal funding was still in limbo, but we do have a Gear Up funding for cohort 4. We just finished cohort 3, and that will start over with our 7th graders. Fit with Grit. So last year we had Fit with Grit, which is a day where we basically shut down school and run it like a prevention conference. So kids go to different workshops, from distracted driving to vaping to mental health awareness to some arts and crafts to baking with Mrs. Eiley, and then some different healthy activities like martial arts with Mr. Kinchlow to pickleball with Mrs. Lawn. This year I have 2 guest presenters coming. Johnny's Ambassadors is going to present to start our day off, and they're going to talk about THC vaping leading to some mental health, which led to a suicide. And then we're going to end our day talking with a presenter that's going to talk about drinking and driving. As you guys know, teens are facing all these risky behaviors, and I feel like we're doing some prevention and talking about it openly. But I do think this day is important for us to be real with some of our students, because they are vaping and they're making some risky choices outside of school or in school. And so that's important to me to bring that back. Both Barker and Kelsey, they both had their walkthroughs, and both guests were commended both programs and really talked about how they were impressed with that. Even though we're a small school, we have high quality, like a big school, programs. And then we had senior night, and we did dedicate our night, as Allie mentioned, to Mrs. Huter, so that was special to have a pink out. Our junior high volleyball team was undefeated, and they got second in districts, and so that was exciting for them. Basketball season's just started, which is crazy. That's high school. And then I did attach, if you guys want to know more information, the Fit with Grit parent letter that has the 2 links for our presenters and then my flyer. So, and you're more than welcome to come if you want to come down and be part of the day.
Thank you. Move on to our superintendent report.
The other night at the homecoming game, our bus driver stopped me and he's like, I just want to share with you how respectful and great those kids are. And I was like, waiting for him to say something else. But it was really nice to hear the compliment of our kids, because sometimes at the end of the day, they're tired. So I love that. And then Kelton was one of our welding students, and so she probably knows more, because Kelton will say 2 words. I'm like, how was it? It was good. So
You get 2 words? I get 1.
oh, okay. But Dr. Williams and Shelby, their welding teacher, took them to the institute in Seattle, Underwater Welding Institute, and they checked out their program. And
They did all the tours and stuff in Seattle, what's the college? Yeah, the Space Needle, and
they crammed it all in one day.
all in one
Like,
day. They
loaded
flew out
and they're
at
like flew in the morning. and
5
flew
in the
home.
morning, and
Yeah.
we're back in Boise by midnight. So
They
it
were
was a
tired.
very long day. But yeah, they thought it was really, Kelton thought it was really neat to see the underwater stuff.
Yeah, and they took a pretty large group. I was surprised.
I
by
think
them.
it was 8 of them.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was awesome. Some community engagement, I talked briefly about that. Some district updates, curriculum meeting, and then the next calendar meeting is the end of October. Appreciated the work on that. We're looking at creating a 2-year calendar. Mrs. Rodwell's taking the lead on that, so we will have something soon with that committee. They're also going to survey the staff, and we'll have some information for the next meeting on that. As far as district updates that I did not include because I was updated this morning, our preschool playground is almost finished. Our old gym floor is finished, so they ended up cutting out the words that escaped me. Yeah, but it's something else.
Don't look at me. Yeah, I know.
You're talking about the expansion.
And then they put expansion.
Thank you. Expansion joint in it. It looks great. It doesn't even look like he had to go back in. So I do hope that will remedy the situation. Was worried about our budget, but I think we did okay. And so those are two quick updates in that. And then lots of professional development. This month I also met with the Highway 95 superintendents. And then there was a reading dream collaboration. And then we have our superintendent's network. So that group meets every October and February. And then the focus this month was about strategic plans. And so I asked Mr. Dramus, like, where's our strategic plan? And he's like, oh, we didn't quite get to that. So I will be looking at creating a framework for us to have a strategic plan, 5-year strategic plan in place by the end of spring. And that's in my superintendent goals as well. And staffing, I guess we do have a school psychologist. You met her today.
She came through the building today.
That's great.
Yeah.
And then to update you guys on our fob system, which is the access control, has a file corruption. So I'm working with our IT and our architect, Jeff Brewer, to look at getting some bids together to see what we're gonna do because they're dying on us, Matt. The one that we did find was just pieces of them. So we're coming up with a plan. Everyone has access to the building. It just may not be the door that they like to walk into. Sorry, Parker. But I'll send an update to staff, but that's what we're working on. And then kudos to Donita. So that's the report.
Mr. Chair, I do have a question. I saw in here for professional development that we're having or looking at having some SRO training.
I attended SRO training.
Oh, you attended SRO training.
With
Who's the guy from Nampa that went out to Valley View and retired? Tall guy.
No, Tall Cop was my vaping one I went to. Katie Watkins ran it, the State Department, but it was a webinar for 2 hours and we're like, yep. It was, I felt good. We're like doing those things. Travis did not attend.
Yeah.
But we attended virtually. It was a webinar.
That's right. I remember you telling me that. That's why I was a little confused by this. But I remember you mentioning it to me.
No, those are the things that I attended this month.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lonnie. Okay, we'll move on to 9 old business. We have A, consider approval for the second read of policy changes in the yearly review policy 1303.
Thank you.
We only have one that's new. Am I correct, Madam Clerk?
Yes, 7710 is the only one that's brand new.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 2420P maybe is new?
Oh, only because it's a procedure?
Yes.
If I noticed correctly, none of them have any decisions to be made. It's just wording changes, correct?
There's no options yet.
Yeah. Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
I don't know if I can word it this way, but I make a motion that we accept all of the policies that are posted. I make a motion that we accept all the policies that are here in 2420, 2420P, 3295, 3320, 3330, 4210F1, 7240, 7240P, 7710, which is brand new, and 8170.
Having first, do I have a second? Having a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any
Aye.
opposed? Any abstain? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Okay, on to discussion of cost of special education MOA verbiage.
So Nikki, this was the one that we left on there from last month because of the verbiage of IEP team and IEP. And I didn't know what more you wanted to have further discussion on this. believe it came from the resolution from last month.
Did we get any info from,
Oh, it's in the special ed manual, which Nikki already.
yeah,
I have no further discussion on that.
Well, moving on from that then, we'll move on to 10 new business. We have A, consider approval for annual district audit report. I'd like to move on.
Any action on it?
no, we already approved it last month. Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
I make a motion that we approve the annual district audit report as presented.
Okay, this is, you got it?
Nikki,
Jesse?
Jesse, sorry,
Thank you.
Nikki, just,
Hey, having a first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstain? Motion passes. On to consider approval for policy 6200P, notice organization chart.
There's a chart that Roseanne and I were looking at updating, just so it fits our contracted services. And then I did add where all the lines for the students. I felt like that was important. Because even though Donita may not think that what she does directly affects students, it does.
Yeah.
So. So we just added the maintenance and grounds director, and then I added that IT is contracted and transportation is contracted, so there wasn't any new positions added or anything, but we just made clarification on that chart.
Do we need to make a motion to approve this or just?
Yes,
It is
Yes.
on the policy.
Okay. Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
I make a motion that we approve the organizational chart as presented.
Having a first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstain? Motion passes. On to discussion of review of ISBA 2026 proposal resolutions for November convention.
Basically, that's just for you to review so that whoever goes to convention can hear what the board members want to vote for. So that will be something that you will have to get a hold of Matt or Kurt and let them know how you want to vote for the ISBA resolutions as part of the convention. Unless you have some that you want to co-sponsor, then a motion would have to be due to, if you want to co-sponsor any of them.
Okay.
Thank you. And that's
We'll probably
after
know
next
by
month's meeting?
It's the next day
Oh, okay.
after our next board meeting,
So when are you all leaving or when are they all leaving?
Tuesday.
Okay. So we'll have to make it by then, make that decision of how we feel about it.
If you want to co-sponsor, it needs to be done tonight.
Yeah.
But for voting, it can be done then.
Yeah.
Or you can just email blind carbon copy what you think, how you want it to be voted. If you want it to pass.
Yeah.
If you do not. There is a sheet there that tells you how ISBA plans to vote, whether
Yeah.
they're supporting them or whether they're not.
Are there
Or they,
no recommendations?
yes.
Yeah.
So if there's one that you want to co-sponsor, there will not be a motion needed.
Didn't see it, because we're already co-sponsoring the number one,
Yeah.
Yes, that's correct.
in a way, in a matter of speaking, yes.
And it is just Kurt and I going?
Pardon me?
Just Kurt and I going?
Yes, but can vote. Yeah, Dunning and I will be going, but we can't vote. I haven't never been in there, but I think just one of you gets to vote, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, so you'll have to sit by each other and discuss
it's
it.
the remote.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Nikki got to do it last year.
It was lovely, but I had to have help from,
Yes.
what do I do there?
Does anybody have any discussion on it?
I don't.
It's all, like, when you look at those, it says on there, like, what the ISBA recommends.
Yeah.
And so really that's, I don't know that we would go against anything that they said anyway.
No, it's what we're kind of pay them for to do, so.
The ones that are difficult are the non-recommendation ones,
Mhm.
just because yet it ends up being a personal feeling.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to put your feelings in your pocket.
Yep.
For the kids with the key.
Did you make this template or someone provided it?
I made it.
Great. I appreciate that about Roseanne.
Most of it was created by ASBA. I just added some columns.
No, it's good. Makes it very clear for us.
Yep. Thank you very, very much.
I'm looking blank off those online kids.
Mhm.
Done review? These are things, if we don't co-sponsor, want to co-sponsor, we don't have to do anything with it. Okay. So we can move on to D. Okay, moving on to D. This discussion update on trustee vacancies and election.
Mr. Chair, I do have a couple of questions, well, at least one question. The declaration of a vacancy, so we, as far as I know, are going to have a vacancy in my seat.
Correct.
When is the earliest that we can declare that?
It was already declared by the county that it would be vacant.
As
beginning
of January. So does that 90 days start when they declare it?
Yes.
Oh, perfect. So have we posted it for, oh, we can't, not until the 90 days for anyone outside. Okay. Do we know when that date will be?
No, I haven't figured that out.
Okay. Yeah, it should be. It would be before the end of the year,
It will be before the end of the year.
because when those had to be in August, correct?
They actually posted the vacancy the 20-something of August, so I'll have to see if that, yeah,
Okay.
that would be in November probably.
Yeah.
Right before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I do have applications, if anybody knows anybody interested in applying, they can email me and I'll send them an application.
And if we go to 120 days,
You'll come back.
the commissioners appoint, correct?
Did you hear what I said?
Yeah,
He was
that's why I
ignoring
ignored it. Matt knew.
He's good at that.
Okay, I wanted to confirm that I was understanding that correctly. So, thank you, sir.
On to consider approval for accepting bid for the farm lease agreement.
Did we just have the one?
Yes, we just have the one.
I have some comments on that.
I was gonna ask, is that the going rate for an acre? Or has that just been what it's always been?
That's what it is currently.
Is that what we have always charged them?
I didn't go back very far, but I don't think it was that much before.
No, this isn't one from what it was. I have issues with approving in October is probably right. It ought to be, going into November is too late. 1 year is useless. He's asking for 2. He would prefer 3.
Yeah.
There is an option in the lease that at the end of that time period, that they can ask for a year extension. It states that in the lease. So the lease says from this date to this date, and then they can ask for an extension at the end of that date. So it doesn't say that it's only for a year. We can put in the 2 years, but then for the 3rd year, he would have to ask for an extension.
But we did get clarification on that, because initially we thought it was only 1 year. We were questioning that too, because he stopped in.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. But you're saying 3 years too?
I would recommend a 3-year lease.
And there's a clause in there that if something does come up where we need the land, then we would notify him. Yeah.
And conversely, I think you could do the
Yeah.
same.
Yes, it's Misha.
He's done a great job. I mean, from my,
I know him real well. The place looks great. The weeds are down. I mean, he's kept it clean. And
it's better than it been to.
he's a good farmer. I would like to see it be 3. Not using that 1 year
Extension.
extension, just make it a 3-year lease.
Then we'd have to reapprove the lease. Has to be rewritten. We have to reapprove the lease because it's stated in there for 1 year extension.
Okay.
Unless we put it in with the dates of 3 years, but then you would get a 4-year possibly extension. And I don't know that that's how the board wants to go, if they want to go full 4 years.
Could be up to 4 years.
It could be up to 4 years.
But right now, he could have it for 3.
He could, if the board approves it that way.
Yeah.
Just the 2 years and then the 1 year extension.
Or we could put the 3 years in for the dates, and then the extension is still in there. He could apply for the 4th year extension, depending on how we word the lease, because we just have to put the dates in.
If he's still farming in 4 years, I would be,
Surprised?
yeah.
Okay.
I would recommend 3 years. It just gives some stability to him. I mean, no matter who's farming, when you get to the end of fall, then you're wondering, okay, now like if it would have been wheat, he'd have been wanting to know when he could start doing groundwork. And that you had to know in August instead of now.
Yeah.
Or he just goes and does it, rolls the dice that he's going to get it.
So when should we have this on our board calendar? What month?
It probably ought to come up in August for renewal.
So June or July for bid? It's gonna be a while anyway.
Yeah, I mean, the lease wouldn't expire until the crop is
Finished.
finished.
Yeah.
But we ought to be talking about it in,
June or
we
July.
probably ought to be talking about it in July.
Okay, so let's add that for.
So do we want to put it out for bid in July? Or we just want to discuss it in July?
It probably ought to go out for bid in July, because if he wants it again, or whoever wants it, they're gonna want to be able to get in there and start work as soon as they can.
Well, they wouldn't be able to get in until the previous owner got his crops out anyway.
Well, if it was wheat, it's gonna be off in July.
Yeah.
And so whoever,
Depends on what it is.
yeah, it depends on the crop.
Yeah, wheat or beans.
But if
or-
if the lease goes from November to November, then he's still not going to be able to get in, even though he put a bid in and the crop is in. He's not gonna be able to sign the new lease until the November date.
Could we add that language to this?
We'd have to start over. We'd have to rewrite the lease and have it approved. But we can think about that at the end of this lease process.
Yeah.
So if we want to do the 3 lease now, we can leave it the way it's written and think about changing the lease the next time it comes up.
On 27?
So it would be the 2-year with the 1-year option then?
Or we can put the 3-year dates
Whichever one
in there
you
with the
decide to-
1-year option.
I would recommend 3 years. Mr. Chairman, I would recommend we make it 3-year commitment.
Do I have a second on that?
If we need a full motion,
Yes. That's what he just did.
That was,
okay, I will second.
Okay, having first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstain? Motion passes. Okay, we'll move on to consider approval for disposal of outdated technology.
I love the way this is worded. Kinsler?
You're welcome. I see you took it verbatim.
I did.
Okay, we've got some older iPads that do not have lightning chargers on them. Remember the prongs? Anyways, we went, tried to update one, use it with a kid, and text like, no, you're not going to use a lot of the apps or things. They're just outdated. If possible, we'd love to try to turn it in and get a little buyback from it. Don't know if that's even going to happen at all. So the second option would be to recycle those. So at this point, they're just going to sit there. And I forget if they were 8s or what. I don't remember what they were. Yeah.
Mr. I make a motion that we approve the disposal of outdated technology.
Yeah, on first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstain? Motion passes. Okay, on to G, consider approval for state FFA Greenland Conference. I have this one here.
Go ahead,
She's
Mr.
got all my
Barber.
paperwork, but it's, we have an opportunity, they go around the state. They've been doing this for 4 or 5 years. I haven't been to one, but I hear that they're really good. And so we have an opportunity to go to Boise. It starts at BSU downtown, and I'd have to be there at 8 to traffic. And so I thought, let's make it an overnight. Let's go in the evening before. So we got kiddos that are going to be playing sports. I have been telling them to go right away until they get done with their sport practice. We don't have to be right at 3:30. So they get done at 5:30, we'll load them up and head them in there. We've got a hotel situated, the Holiday Inn Express there at Meridian, and chaperone, Megan Linkart's agreed to go. And then the nice thing for these 8th graders for discovery degree, freshmen for 9th graders, to teach them how I travel with FFA and how we conduct ourselves and how we enter a restaurant and how we enter a hotel. And then the actual event that next morning put on by the state FFA officers at Boise State at the Student Union Building. And it concludes, they'll feed them lunch, it'll conclude about 2:30. And it's a good rah-rah, teach them, get them fired up and motivated to get some younger kids in our pipelines excited to go on trips and do things. So it's leadership based. They've got interactive engagements with small groups. So I look forward to it. I think it's going to be a good opportunity. Cost, alumni's, their policy is 70%. So the cost for the kiddo is going to be $30. You know, the registration is $35, and then the hotel and then one meal. So the nice thing too, you heard me mention earlier about that raffle drawing. You know, I need money and sell tickets, and so they can sell tickets, and that's how a lot of them are paying away. So they have to have their dues paid, and they have to have there's your schedule, tentative schedule, and they don't have to wear official dress of any kind. They get to wear swag, and our chapter T-shirts just came in, so they'll be able to Officers are gonna hand those out so that those specific kids that are gonna go can have those to wear. So they'll all wear Notice FFA t-shirts. Questions?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
make a motion that we approve the State FFA Green Hand Conference.
Having first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstained? Motion passes.
Awesome.
Let's have a great time.
Awesome. Thank you. You guys have a good night.
You too.
Thank you, you do. Okay, on to 11. Public participation, everybody signed in?
No one decided.
No one signed in, so we move on to executive session.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
I make a motion that we move into executive session for Idaho Codes 74-2061B.
Having first and second?
Trustee Campbell,
Yes.
trustee Belbago,
Yes.
trustee Benson, yes, trustee Kretz,
Yes.
trustee Sutton.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yep, if you want to come up and sign your agenda, get 2 signatures from one of our trustees.
on this, so we can just move on to 13, conclusion. Board request of district administration.
I do have two. I want to make sure that we have the presentation from the student leadership. And I'd like to see some kind of presentation from our 3 kids that we sent to Seattle. If we could have some kind of presentation from them. I just think that is phenomenal that these kids got to do that. And to have them, I don't care about this as much as tell me what you thought of it.
Yeah.
Because if that's something that we can support later, because I know, I believe if I remember correctly, Ms. Williams got a grant to take care of that. That's not always gonna be able to happen, but if we could send 3 kids or 8 kids every year, I mean, now it's phenomenal, the amount of just
The exposure.
eye-opening experience for these kids, to me, is just phenomenal. And the amount of money they can make is crazy. So I would like to see that.
I can work with them on that. Also, one of their moms can help me.
Oh, no, she and I already discussed it.
I had, just kind of a question. How's the food pantry? All
It's
that?
on, yeah, we've had reports, like September was a report, but, they're thriving. And then we had several kids use our secondary opportunity outfitters to have homecoming attire.
Oh.
So, yeah, it was kind of cool to see one little guy just asked, I hope you guys have suits. We're like, yep. And we went upstairs and found one for one of our, he was here in 1st grade, but he's back. He's a 9th grader. But yeah. But we can get more of a report on the community schools. We actually have United Way doing a site visit this week.
Thursday.
Yeah, coming out.
It's,
Thursday.
the family always goes gets bread.
Oh, got foods. I haven't seen them in a while.
They were here a couple weeks ago.
I think they came August. I don't think they've come this last.
They did.
Okay,
I don't know if they brought bread, but they were here.
yeah.
I just saw them in the
It
office.
was-
We had a lot of bread. I don't know where it came from.
That must be from them, yeah.
Yeah.
And we also have harvest. We have people bring in some tomatoes and peas and.
Are they still doing fuel cards for them for going and getting the bread?
No, so I don't have that funding anymore. Mhm.
Matt made me think of something. Director's reports.
Oh, yes.
We were talking about that. Yes, what would you like? What would you guys, what does that look like?
So to me, what I envisioned was the directors, like James, having Mr. Tybo come in and give us some information. And I would hope us be able to ask some questions to them about, I mean, yes, I'm hungry, I know. Like, for right now, I mean, for several years, James really didn't have a whole lot of information, and I know I didn't have a lot of questions. But now that he sees us and knows that we're gonna be in the hole, what are some things that he's kind of, I mean, that's a question I have, is what kinds of things are you looking at to solve this, or is it even possible? I mean, I know that, some districts, it's just not gonna happen. But, since our auditor told us, everybody's between 40,000 and 300,000, well, we are at least in the somewhat good end of that.
What do you think about James reporting November, February, April? And then Craig, our maintenance, would be the opposite of that.
Well, it doesn't have to be that many times. I would say, just even once a semester.
So
Personally.
November and April
Because
after our
do
audit.
we just have the 2?
Mhm.
Because, that's right. Kevin, right? Our IT guy,
He's just a consultant.
he's a consultant. And then Brown Bus comes once a year.
Yep.
And then what about ABM?
They come ask you guys to sign for the next year.
Okay, I would like I know I'm leaving, but I would like to have them at least come maybe twice a
Before
year
they ask to sign.
before they ask money for money.
Yeah.
Tell us how they feel it's going.
Okay.
Because I'm not hearing the things that I used to hear because I don't have the connection
Right.
or the connections that I have anymore. Kids are going.
So we can have Tybo come November and April, so March is our, audit for food service, so then you can report on that. And then Craig could do December and March, and then ABM can sneak in there. That sound good?
That works. I mean, I just like to see them.
Yeah.
Because
We do meet weekly now, we did used to meet.
Yeah.
So we do meet on Mondays with Tybo, Craig, myself, Ben, Donita, Roseanne. So we are meeting on Monday, so I do think that's helping, and then we have a section for IT, so we pull up their, help desk tickets and kind of check to see what's going on, and then communicate with.
well, anyway, if we can get information like that, I think, you know, even as a person out there, that's good information to know how's our money being spent, how's it being taken care of.
Yeah, we can do that.
And so even, because that's an easy 4 months right there, and that's half
Yeah.
the year or half the year. That's
I can
investment.
do a report on the IT tickets.
Yeah. I mean, just, you know, how many are they getting done? How's it going? Does that make sense?
That sounds great,
That makes
that's
sense.
great communication.
I'd like to hear from them.
That's your fault, because I hadn't even thought of that until you said about the food pantry, and I'm like, oh, yeah, directors.
No, we just talked about that, we were wondering. And then I'll update my superintendent goals, he said in November too.
So when, is this your last?
No, my last isn't until December. I have 8 meetings left. Well, 7 meetings after tonight.
Who's counting?
Me. I even counted up for Jesse the other night. I was like, I think I have 8 meetings. She's like, no, you don't. And I'm like, yeah, I gotta count pre-board, CASA, and here.
Okay, and all that on the board requests. Do we have any unscheduled board member future items we need to post?
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to be adjourned.
On the first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Hour and 28 minutes.
7:43.
Hour and 28 minutes.
Harvest Festival?